You know, everybody knows what a Yeti cup is, but have you seen the Ringsulator? Hey, it's Don Skaggs again with Empowered Inventing TV, where we try to help you help other people by taking your great innovation, the right opportunity, mixing that with sound wisdom so you can turn them into real things like products and businesses that are actually successful. Now, today I've got a question for you is how can you really invent a new way to do an old thing? And I've got a great example here of this, and pretty much everybody, I hope, knows what a Yeti cup is. They've been very, very popular the last few years, and this is a kind of a ginormous one here. That, you know, it's kind of like a travel mug, but it's super insulated, stainless steel. It's got a vacuum chamber on the inside that keeps everything super, super cold. Well, everybody kind of knows what that is. But the Ringsulator is something brand new. And I think this is genius. And this is an excellent example of a new way to do something that everybody thinks is already established. So enter Rob Hamelick and Andrew Reuter, who, guys, if I'm butchering your names, I apologize up front, but Rob and Andrew came up with an idea that literally turned the Yeti cup upside down. And it's called the Ringsulator. So it creates an insulating gap that allows drinks to stay colder longer, doesn't sweat, and this is the really cool thing I love. You can put your name on it right here. Now this has other uses too. I think they can do like logos and you know, some type of branding thing, which would be really, really cool. I'm sure there's a great market for that. But I'll tell you what, I would love to have one of these at my next family gathering, because you know what happens, right? Is everybody's got a red Solo cup and everybody sets theirs down and then nobody knows whose is whose. Well, I love this little extra feature on this product where you could actually put your name. I think that is just cool as all get out. But the Ringsulator is really, really cool. So basically the Yeti cup, you know, everybody was buying those. People were having trouble finding them. They were all the rage, especially just a few years ago. And still are, I'm sure. So the Ringsulator is a completely different idea, but it does the same thing. So basically you've got your red Solo cup that, you know, everybody has at parties and family gatherings and that sort of thing, and you just slip this little ring right here up on the edge like this of this cup, and you take another cup and you just put it inside of it. Now you've got the same principle, the same chamber. Now it's air, it's not a vacuum seal, but it still does the same thing basically. I've seen these things in action. Now the backstory of this is I had the opportunity at the year of making of this video this year to go to the Michigan Inventor Expo. Got to speak there. It was really, really cool. Great meeting. Just a great bunch of great inventor group up there, by the way, a Michigan Inventors Coalition. If you're up there, you definitely want to check those guys out. But at one of the exhibit booths was the creators of the Ringsulator. And this was just an amazing product, I thought. And I got to see it demonstrated. So they had one of these like this. So they had just a regular cup with like ice in it. And then they had one that was done like this with the Ringsulator, same exact time, and a few hours passed and the regular cup, you know, brand X over here, well, it was just all the ice was melted. And this one, still ice cold, and no sweat on the outside. Great demonstration, great demo of the product like that, by the way. Kudos to those folks that did it. I think we've got a good video of showing that in their booth, in their exhibit booth at the time. So anyway, this was really, really cool. I loved their story of how they got started with all this. They actually made a Frankentype, which, you know, I love. They made Frankentypes. They 3D printed molds and did a very, very short run of these, and to test the market in a small venue. I love that strategy, by the way. If you can do that with your idea, that's a wonderful thing. So they did a very, very short run. Again, you know, an early production run, very, very small, 3D printed molds, but guess what? People loved it. The feedback was really positive. They said, this is great. You've got to make some more of these. So they did another run. They actually did molded parts, but they did a short run. They did it locally there in Michigan. By the way, all of this is made in Michigan, which I just think is really, really cool. But now they're doing more short runs. They're testing their market. They're selling some more. And guess what? It's taking off. I just think this is the coolest thing ever. So, what can we learn from all this? What can we learn from inventors and entrepreneurs that approach this way? Taking an old idea, or maybe not relatively old, something that was, you know, kind of already out there, but then inventing a new way to accomplish the same task. What do we learn from that? Well, number one is never look at a concept as an already made product or an already made product. Don't look at a concept or a product that's out there like the Yeti as a dead end. Oh, well, they've done that already. We can't do anything more than that. Well, I wish I'd come up with a Yeti. You ever hear people do that? Well, I wish I came up with insert very popular product here. And I always think that's just such limited thinking. They could have said, well, you know, Yeti Cup already exists. We shouldn't even try. Well, I'm glad they did. And guys, if you're watching this, I want some more of these. I've got a family gathering planned where I'd love to use them. So, what did they do? They instead looked at a cheaper, better way to do something for customers that already loved this concept. So you know, and using a product that customers already had. I mean, you know, these are prolific. They're everywhere. Solo cups, and just the fact that you can do this, and think about it. You know, instead of throwing one out and having to, you know, oh gee, I don't know whose this is now, so I guess we'll just have to pour it out and get a new drink and put that in there. No, they, you know, hey, I've got my thing. I can reuse this through the whole party. You probably save on solo cups use and disposal as well. So anyway, they found a cheaper way. They didn't just say, it's already been done. No, they found a better, cheaper way to do the same thing. Another thing I loved about the story is they made a Frankentype. And as you know, I love the idea of taking a prototype and splitting it into two different things. The first thing you do is what we call the Frankentype. That's where you've snuck out to the graveyard of broken products and spare parts. You've used glue sticks and duct tape, but you've done that first important step of prototyping the right way. You've built it, you're proving that it works, and you're not spending a lot of money, and it proves to just one person that this idea in your head, or this idea you've written down on paper, you've proven it to one person that it really, really works, and that's you. The Frankentype proves to you that it works. Then you move on to what we call the demo type, which is what you use to prove it to other people. So that's what they did. They built a Frankentype. That proved it to them that it worked. and then they moved on to the demo type, and then they kept their risks small, hand injected silicone from 3D printed molds. This was just such a great story. Their first test run was 75 units, not 75,000. And I've seen inventors make this horrific mistake where they'll have a warehouse full of stuff. They've never found out from the first customer, outside of friends and family usually, whether anybody thinks it's a good enough idea to actually give them, vote with their dollar bills and pay them money for it. So, you know, if something didn't work and you made 75,000 of these things, guess what? You're going to be stuck with tons of unspent inventory. Maybe you just had to make one change to get people to really, really like it and want to buy it. Well, now you can't make that change because you already got 75,000 of these. So they could change if they just made 75. Guess what? They just made 75 mistakes, not 75,000 mistakes. It kept them nimble. That's also how you stay one step ahead of the competition too, by the way. Staying nimble. So this keeps you one step ahead of the competition. It keeps you nimble. It keeps you low cost. Any mistake you will make, and you make most of your mistakes early on, will be very, very low cost, as low cost as you can do it. So another thing they did is they did small events. I love this. And look, one of the things that they were doing at the Michigan Inventor Show was showcasing. And they were getting customer feedback. I love the product. I want some more. So, but they got in early. It was a control. You know, what they did. This is what you do with small shows, small venues in the beginning. If you can make a small lot of something, and you can take it. We did this this past year at the Kentucky State Fair. Instead of putting it on Amazon or putting it on some big broad platform. No, you take it to a small show. You take it to something that is a microcosm of people that are going to give you feedback. And what is that going to give you? Well, that's going to give you early, controlled, and strategic customer feedback. Extremely valuable. I heard somebody say one time, and they were in the as seen on TV business, and they said, you know, we used to do these $100,000 test runs of this product and on TV to get customer feedback, and we found out that we were getting just as valid feedback, just as accurate feedback from taking it to a small show or a small venue and getting that microcosm feedback of what it would normally be if it was a larger group. I thought that was extremely valuable to know, and I've watched people implement it since, and it's been amazing. So if you can do that, do that. Do small events. Start off small and get that strategically controlled customer feedback. Always look for new niche markets. So, you know, what was their market? Anywhere you see red Solo cups. I thought that was just genius. So another thing they did is they made it personable with a logo, with your name. Again, I'm loving this whole name thing. I am so using this at Thanksgiving. So, you know, they making it personable, that really, really can make a difference. And if you're selling B2B, and put your brand name on here, and it's a cool marketing tool. So you know, you're creating something new from an old idea, or basically old, or something that everybody thinks it's already jumped the shark. Let's put it that way. So if you are looking for, well, let me ask you this first: is what are you? Have you thought of something that you could take? What could you invent to make something? Take an old, established, or some big wave, current big popular item that you already think, well, this has already been done, and put a new twist on it. Put some kind of new innovation on it. What could you do? Let me know. Type something in the comments. Let me know. Don't publicly disclose ideas. Don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. But you know, have you ever done that before? Yes or no? I think that'd be a great question. Great question to ask. And if you're looking for more ways that you can innovate it, then you want to join us for our workshops at kyinventors.org. We do these once a month. You have to be a member, but you can join us for these workshops. They're insular. We all work under a closed non-disclosure agreement, so it is a place you can publicly disclose, or you're not publicly disclosing, and it's a safe place where you can talk about your idea and get input from other smart inventors who've been a little further down the road maybe than you have. So anyway, I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Like, subscribe, help us to build our tribe. Share this with somebody you think it might help, and I'll look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of those online courses, or on the next video.